quick clip. I had a video pulled down, yesterday's video. It's pretty cool. But I'll re-upload it soon. Just take out some of the medical misinformation. Kind of sucks to be censored, but that's how it is at the moment, right? We're on our way to, in better news, we're on our way to pick up Patrick and maybe also help Rodney out a little bit. And we're going to take Patrick to his grandma. The story's a little bit convoluted. I'm not exactly sure what this will yield, but you know, our hope is to encourage him to get off the streets and go back home to his grandma because his ma died. So yeah, we'll see how that goes. Just been banned off YouTube for medical misinformation. Let's see what misinformation we're not talking about here. Chat with these three girls if I can. Excuse me, ladies and gentlemen. There's a lady. Sorry. My name's Dave. Do you mind if I film you? I have a little YouTube channel. I got a strike yesterday from YouTube for medical misinformation. So let's talk about what you guys are interested in.
Well, our march is about stopping human trafficking.
Would you mind? Would you be happy to take your mask off so I can see your lips moving? Because I can't hear you very well with the wind. I'm not allowed to talk about certain stuff to do with this on YouTube because, you know, they don't want people to be given other information other than what the government is giving you. But you're concerned about human trafficking?
Yeah, and you know, we are marching today.
Yeah.
Presenting this so that people can stop gender-based violence
Yeah.
and human trafficking. So that's why we're doing a march. So
Okay.
that we are protesting against it. We are against what they are doing.
You're against the human trafficking?
Yes, we're against
And
it
gender-based violence?
because it's not good to
Yeah. To hurt each other?
yeah.
So
and to traffic people. Join us there.
I'd like to. I'm helping a friend out. His name's Patrick, a Zulu guy. He's got a long story, but I'm helping him out today, which means I've got to go to where he lives or where his grandma lives. So it's a little bit of a thing that I have to do today. But I wanted to share some information with you guys as well. I guess you trust in God. You believe God?
Yeah, we do believe in God.
Okay, so God gives us, in nature, God gives us one golden rule. And that golden rule is to do no harm.
Yeah,
Yeah.
we should all protect each other.
We should protect ourselves and protect each other, absolutely. But we shouldn't go out, none of us should go out and try and cause harm to anyone else, right? So that includes gender-based violence, human trafficking.
There's a lot of stuff. It's not only us.
Yeah, because
Not just in our city only.
Not-
whole world.
the whole world, yeah. Well, I notice in the UK they're bashing this thing about the gender-based violence as well. You know, they're really pushing that and all really highlighting that there is this kind of stuff going on. The thing is that when you start to look into these awful things, you can either get stuck in one area and say this is the most important thing, or realize that there's a lot of other things that are going on that are just as bad or sometimes worse. You know, we go to war in some countries. I did for South Africa when I was 19, and in Angola, you know, and we were meant to go. We were made to go and fight against Angolans, you know, young Angolan boys and stuff, you know, and that's horrific. We were actually killing each other. That's horrific. And then you look at other things that are going on in the world, like in our food industry, you know, the way that our animals are treated are horrific. And so people protest against that. There are other things like they put poisons on our farm foods, you know, and they modify these organisms such that they're actually damaging to our bodies. And people protest against that. Some say there's this like agenda for geoengineering, which is to change the climate in the world by spraying stuff into the sky, you know, and people protest vehemently against that, and they ask the government to change and to do things differently and putting new laws and new controls to stop these sorts of things. But all of these things ultimately rob us of our own power. Because if you and I choose to treat each other with love, then we're not going to harm each other, either in a partnership of business or in a partnership of love, or just neighborhood community. Yeah, and equally or conversely, if I choose to be someone who doesn't adhere to God's law of golden rule of do no harm, then I am going to be accountable for that. In our world, there are so many people who have lost their way from their divine essence that they're willing to go out or they're lost or traumatized, because you'll know that some of the gender-based violence springs from the parents that person had, the experience that person had. Generally, because it's like I say to people, if you have 10 puppies in a cage and you only put 3 puppies worth of food in every day, those puppies will fight each other for the food, and the biggest puppy will be the one that gets the most, and the little puppy will be in the corner frightened and starving, right? And that's exactly how, and then when those puppies become parents, how badly do they treat their puppies, because they never knew any different. So we are already the product of our fathers and our mothers and our grandfathers, who have all been put in a system of lack, of shortage, of there's not enough to go around, whether that be love or money or any of these things. And so we're fighting, we're like hungry dogs in a cage, in a massive prison system. And so with the greatest of respect and love, to go around into, and I did this myself for a few years, to go into one corner of the prison and complain about how it is in that part of the prison is almost like, oh, well, just give us slightly better lunch or a nice pudding or something and we'll be happy with that, that'll be our better prison conditions. No, this prison has got so crazy that I can reduce your God-given breath. Apartheid was bad, but we're now separating people by their connection to the ether, to all that is, to God, to His creation, through our breath, because breath is life. And God spoke the world everything into existence, and this comes from vibration, from your vibration, and these things are all being robbed from us. And this is, for me, such a much a bigger thing. What they've done, or what the system has done, is it's given everybody like a little pet thing to go and fight. I used to try and get everyone to realize that the earth is not a spinning ball and that we don't come from monkeys, because that's just another lie that's been perpetrated to kind of make us feel insignificant, rather than, wow, we are actually the center of creation, and God created us in God's image, and we are meant to be having a divine thing here, not we're evolved monkeys on a lucky little rock spinning around in a very dangerous space, like dinosaurs went away and all that sort of stuff. That stuff is all belief systems given to minimize us, just like religion does, just like this government does, because government means mind control, my friends. Government, the word government is Latin for mind control, and that's what its purpose is to control your corona, your mind, your crown, because you are a fractal of the entire of God. God created you in His image. I say that we are like walking around inside God, that we are like in God. We are like those 7 Russian dolls, you get the big one, which is all God, Allah, whatever, and then the smallest one in the middle, which is you. I think Jesus was trying to tell us that you are the way, the truth, and the light, and the only way to God is through you, not through some preacher, not just some religion, and not by some government who's going to put more and more restrictions on your life as you grow older. Trust me, in my 50 years of life, the restrictions on our society have just become harder and harder and harder. And like frogs in boiling water, if you slowly turn up the temperature, they don't notice. And slowly we get sleepwalked into a totalitarian system of control that only wants your energy, your life force. Give me 40, 50 years of your life force. Pay all your taxes. Pay a lot of money just to have a house over your head. And at the end of it, you might get a few years of retirement in which you can go and play golf or put your feet up or play with the grandchildren. That's not what your life was meant to be. We're not meant to be like these slaves. We're meant to be like in nature. We're meant to be free. What animal in nature, we're meant to be above the animals, but animals in nature are freer than we are. We're meant to be the master of the government, not the government the master of us. We're meant to take back our own control, and it cannot do anything to you unless you consent, unless you give away your power and you say, yes, I'll let you do it, I'll agree to doing this, or you don't complain about, or not complain, you don't say, no, I have my own sovereignty, which is intact. You do not get to harm my body in any way. If I come to you and cause you physical harm, gender-based violence, you would be calling the police. If 2 years ago I'd asked you to do this, you'd be calling the police, would you not? You'd say, this strange white man came up to me and said, I need to put a nappy over my mouth. You go, what a crazy man that is. And now, so I'm saying that we're maybe harming ourselves and I should not be able to cause you harm. You should not allow yourself to be harmed, whether it be by a boyfriend, by an employer, by a government, you know, and particularly a government which is meant to be subservient to the man and the woman, because God created us and us created government. And now government is atop us, and that's all upside down. And that's what they say in the Bible. It's like a devil's world. Everything is inverted. Everything that they tell you, they tell you come from monkeys. No, you did not. They tell you this came out of a big bang. No, absolutely did not. You know, this is divine creation. Thank you so much, my friends. Have a fantastic life, and we are all one, you know. And all of these things, all of these sort of, I'm going to join this focus group or this interest group, as valid as the agenda is, they all create division between, in this case, men and women. They create division because they make me go around, or you go around, thinking that every man is a potential predator. That's how we start to think. You know how they did with the apartheid? Every black person is a potential this or a criminal or this. What bullshit, right? You know that's not true. But when I bring on these rules, then some people, and even in the black community, some people take on that identity. They say, "Oh yes, that's who we are." No, it's not. And men take on that identity. Oh, we're child traffickers and all that. No, we are not. We are loving, you know, in our divine essence, we are loving divine beings until you put the 10 puppies with 3 dogs food in the cage, and that's what's happened to us, you know. So you know, encourage people men particularly to stand in themselves and find their way through whatever violence they experience. They're putting on their loved ones. They have to find their way through that. They have to be helped through that. They have to be required to kind of look back at the trauma that brought them to that point. That's part of this journey, because if I hurt you when you're a puppy, you're going to have to change, otherwise you will die a broken puppy like you were raised. So let's try and find ways to hug each other rather than be more separate across communities, religions, and all these sorts of different things. Have a great life. You're welcome.
Enjoy your day.
Enjoy your day. Much love. Bye-bye. I do have a lot of conversations that go unrecorded, so it was nice to get that one on camera. Not sure if I'll upload it now or wait for a week till my ban is over. Maybe I'll put it on the backup channel, the Trinities. Yeah, we're just waiting for Patrick. He's gone for a wash and a haircut. He wants to tidy up. We're going to try and get him some fresh clothes. So before he goes see his grandma, we're hoping to get this guy off the streets. We got Patrick. He's in the car with us. Going home.
To see my granny.
Fantastic.
Yeah, don't want to come back here in the streets.
That's exactly what I mean.
Get a nice life now. I'm tired to sleep outside.
Exactly.
Yeah.
Thank you, Patrick. Oh, let me not run this man down. We are gonna get some clothes for Patrick. Watch the space. Some shoes. It's busy, huh? Let's have a look. At your school, Patrick. There's lots of children there.
Yes.
Unfortunately, education is really about squeezing you into a box and taking away your creative power.